Let's
Yeah.
House head-to-head with Envy here. Some pretty interesting stats. The biggest differential here, of course, is Envy having that plus 304 gold lead at 15 minutes. That means he's fully solo killed.
Yeah.
His lane opponent every single game, on average, right? Which is wild, right? I mean, that you can't beat that. Everything else looks about even, but Envy is just almost certain to kill you.
It is really, really impressive. And of course, he does a fantastic job at translating that into a lead for his team. Furia in general, I think in 20%, 25% more of the games they take first blood tower than Fluxo. So all in all, this is going to be exciting, but we are already on to the Rift, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, and we get FMB getting chomped out a little bit, one way or another. This playoffs game is underway, X-Men.
Certainly is a period tie. He's going to leash Gisamis on the top side of the map here. They're going to do so on the vision as well. So it's not going to be a mystery where Gisamis is pathing. He will full clear, ladies and gentlemen, taking down the Krugs as well on the backside. You don't see this too often anymore, right? And Goot not getting that leash is going to be just a little bit slower, a little bit lower tempo than Tide, or behind Gisamis, excuse me. And just a little bit slower. The biggest thing when you talk about tank junglers here, Lithi, is the clear speed, and Sejuani has it in spades. The clear speed on this champion for being a tank jungler is so incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. Sejuani definitely feeling really, really comfortable at the moment. And of course, this is going to translate into some general early game tempo as well, right? Because the clear speed and the health Gisamis is going to have after finishing this first round is going to be very, very solid. And you can already see Bronze and Jojo, they're putting the pressure onto Trigo and Ayu here in the bot lane. So looking at the next like 1 or 2 minutes, right, with Good and Gisamis pathing bot side, this could get explosive really, really quickly.
No, really could. Yeah, you're looking at JoJo there, trying to catch him out with the roots. Not going to be able to quite there. The trade's looking really nice from Furia. And, yeah, you just can't play with the range game here. In these first few levels, it is not tenable for you. Need Goot to come down and kind of break you out. Look at the trades there. Trigo taking so much damage.
Yeah. Now, Bronze and Jojo definitely abusing the fact that they have the better early laning here with the Caitlyn Lux. But overall, of course, we got to talk a little bit about the expectations going into this matchup, right? Because if you pick a Caitlyn Lux into this scenario, you want to win lane. You kind of need to win lane to be able to do something in the mid game. And they are just bullying them on the bot lane. First turret plating already picked up by Fluxo.
It's a really nice play there from House to drop down, hit that Scryer's Bloom, and get the vision onto Goot there briefly. Bronson, Bretzi, and JoJo, yeah, they're totally freed up from that. Just like you said, they get the plating, they get the vision down here too, so there's just no way for Goot to get into the lane. And we will be neutralized across Summoner's Rift. Everyone looking for an angle, but there just isn't going to be one. Big scaling comps across the board. I will tell you, Lithi, Fluxo's fastest game was a 23-minute game.
Oh no, Envy was not expecting the turnaround. The cage is good, the flash out as well. He gets away with a sliver of health, basically. But on the bot lane, double root. Trigo needs to cleanse this immediately. The fights are off. Welcome to CBLOL playoffs, ladies and gentlemen. This is exactly what we're looking for.
Yeah, right? The action. Give us the action. Goot's still pushing for this, by the way.
Yep.
I don't know if there's anything to be...
He's a little bit ahead in terms of HP. We got FMB roaming down as well. Great timing, forcing Gisamis' flash with this body slam. So all in all, Furia establishing dominance across the map, except bot lane.
Yeah, nothing really going on for them down here bot lane. Looks like they're going to lose another plate, actually, if anything, Lithi, which is not super good for them here, as that is a full solo kill's worth of gold. Just going over to both JoJo and Bronzy, which, I mean, yeah, already said it. It doesn't get worse than that. So, Trigo, IU, they're going to take the reset tail between their legs and try to come back in, have a better time in the lane here. First Dragon is on to Summoner's Rift. We'll see who goes for this one. Both junglers are on the top side of the map, so you might see a little bit of a slower Dragon here. Yeah, even as I was saying it, sometimes Fluxo likes to turn up the tempo and play a faster game. Their fastest one is 23 minutes. Yeah, they're going to start up the action and see if they can't speed this game up a little bit. I like to see it.
The tempo, I mean, it is definitely important, right? You want to make use of this Caitlyn Lux, but you also want to accelerate the game as much as possible in terms of getting House advantages on this Victor, getting Tay and Disamis into the game so they have the tankiness to be the frontline they need to be for this team. But really, the Victor and the Caitlyn are the big topics of discussion here, right? Because if these two don't get rolling, it's not going to look good for Fluxo.
No, it's not going to look good for them whatsoever. IU going to walk up to this bush, so close on the route there. That is looking closer and closer every time. JoJo at level 4, once they hit level 6, things go from bad to worse here for Furia. Gisamis and JoJo should be able to secure the area around the dragon here and take the objective down. They're going to try and break out Brunsey first here.
Yeah, he looks to be just fine. A little bit of poke going over. Not 100% sure that they are aware of the Sam sitting in the river, but this could shape up to be an interesting 3v3 here. No ultimates available yet. That's the biggest point of contention for this little fight. But Tay, around the corner, has the ultimate available, and that would be a slammer-jammer of a gank for the Scion.
It really would. The teleport's going to come through. He's going to go back up to his top lane as things diffuse down the bot side here. Several odds should be popping through in just a little bit. Root goes down.
Good is still here. No ult, might not be able to connect. The trap is good. IU gets pushed out with some good damage. Fluxo playing this bot lane really, really well.
Oh yeah, Gisamis is back now too. Looking for a fight. But
not necessarily one you want to take right now, especially because your bot lane is a little bit separated. Not quite the most ideal position that Furia maneuvered themselves into. Good now caught in the Dragon Pit. Doesn't have the Vault Breaker to go over the wall for another few seconds. Finally gets out. That was lots closer than he probably would have liked. And House kind of caught out in the cage here. All in all, lots of rumble around the dragon for nothing, basically.
Yeah, no fight yet, Brian. You don't want to give things up too easily. Here in game 1 of the series, Brunsey with ultimate now. Several more ultimate abilities should be coming through in just a little bit. Both solo laners, all the solo laners have their ultimate abilities now. Featherstorm up now as well for Trigo. So the fight just got a lot more interesting, if you ask me.
Oh, absolutely.
Samus is level 6 there too.
The power spike coming in from Xayah and Rakan at level 6 definitely is going to help them out massively versus Bronze and JoJo. Overall, quite honestly, this game a little bit slower than I'm used to from these two teams. We usually get first blood around like 6 minutes something. We still don't have any objectives tackled, even though there is a good chunk of prio existent from Fluxo's bot lane. All in all, both teams seem to be very worried about making the first wrong move.
Yeah, Gisamis going to walk out of the vision here. Yeah, I like your point. I think this is a much, much slower game. Normally, we're hitting level 6 in the jungle position around 7 minutes, Lithy. Trying to catch up certainly before 8 minutes, but just now, we barely got to level 6 on both junglers, just under 9 minutes, right? So we're about a minute and a half behind schedule right now as far as the tempo of the game goes. You got a 9 minutes, 30-second Rift Herald clear right now. And yeah, the slow play here in the early game has definitely slowed down. A lot of the bottom side of the map, including those junglers, that jungle 3v3 around the bot lane. It's interesting, though, to note that both solo lanes have stayed in on tempo, right? So you have these massively accelerated solo laners in the middle lane. How's level 9? Just for instance there, with the 99 CS. He's super strong. The rest of the map, not so much.
Yep, and Envy gets hit with a Glacial Prison. That's a lot of damage on the Veigar. He gets to flash out over the wall. Great collapse in here from Fluxo just to put on more pressure. And you can see all in all how scared these teams are. You can notice, just feel how much is on the line in this first playoffs matchup. We are in the lower bracket after all. If you lose here, you're out of playoff contention.
Certainly. And keep in mind, we showed you those head-to-head stats. Oh, this could be the fight. Good
Yep,
looking for the
there's
ultimate.
the season desist going deep onto the
big
Caitlyn.
knockup.
Bronze trying to make something work in this fight, maneuvering back, front, and forth. It gets the first blood. Nice Feather Storm to dodge the binding, but all in all, Furia, that is the misstep we were waiting for. The first blood going over to Fluxo, and they will claim a dragon after this.
They'll claim the dragon. It looks like Fluxo are going to be able to push for this tier 1 turret as well. Perhaps get that 4th plating off of it. Yeah, they're going to ult the wave just to force it back under the turret. And they'll certainly get at least one more plating, if not the entire turret there. The dragon goes the way of Fluxo as well. Nice 2K. Oh, in the mid lane. Oh,
House
come on,
making
House.
this interesting. Death Ray, the heal. Last second coming through. In the top lane, FMB in the 1v1. Beautiful cask to kick Tay back and should be fine here. Latest point with the body slam over the wall. Tay still looking for a pick. FMB. Yep, that is gonna be a lot of additional time lost trying to get out of this sticky situation.
Yeah, he has to walk it out. Unfortunately, not going to be able to take the reset there. And, man, oh man, things have gone really, really well for Fluxo this game. You talk about the CS differential in every single lane.
Yeah.
That is not tenable for Furia. You can't play a game like this the rest of the series, but certainly some comeback mechanics coming into play for Furia. Lots of pick tools for them. The cage coming out from Vigar. Rakan, of course, lots of pick tools there as well. So have the potential to get back into this game and try to get the victory there. Bronzy's still looking to push for this bottom side turret, but they're fully in control of the bottom side of the map here, Lithy.
Yeah, it's a little bit problematic for Furia to make any plays at the moment, right? Because you're hitting this kind of 13-minute power spike for Fluxo where they are so far ahead in every single lane that you can't really contest them too well. And yes, you have a little bit of a dive attempt with the Glacier Prison, but the flashes are good, and Good finally shows up to save the day. But you can see House already roaming down as well. They might be looking to clean this up or at least grab the turret first blood. And all in all, Fluxo doing a fantastic job of just shutting down any avenues Furia would have to get into the game. This first Herald that they picked up, still in the pockets of Good.
Yeah, Goose still got it. And what are you going to do with it? He drops it there in the mid lane. We'll see if they try to push this out for some turrets. It's going to take the charge off, but that's going to be about it. It's a far cry from getting the entire bot lane turret pre-14 there, Lithia. Is not not going to be the same level of gold whatsoever.
Yep, and Envy this time around, he doesn't have a flash, but luckily he has teammates. There's the season desist, the follow-up with the quickness. Good taunt, the damage coming through. Envy picking one up, House down for the count. The laser not doing any damage. Disarm is trying to get out. The shield and the binding coming in last second. It's not good enough, but Good will take some damage, gets to walk away. Beautiful collapse from Furia, picking up 2 super important kills here.
Yeah, incredible play there. They use their pick tools really effectively to get the comeback in this game. Get that kill down to Envy as well, who desperately needed the gold injection. He's going to be able to complete Roa off of that play. Huge for him to get that pre-14.
And especially considering the last time these two teams played against each other, right? It was Envy who ran away with the game with a lead on the Silas back then. Now, Veigar, definitely a little bit more late game focused, but he still gets to play a little bit early on, picks up this super important kill. And we can take another look at how this whole thing came to be.
Yeah, take a look at the replay here. He gets the stun down onto House. Jasamis follows it up. And, yeah, there's just big response here. Really nice movement from Goot and IU across the map. Ultimate used there by Goot. And that will lock up House, unfortunately, for Fluxo. They get caught out 2v4 and taken right down. Incredible at this point that House is unable to burst down Envy. That's just the scaling nature of the champion, right?
Yeah.
You don't have a ton of burst damage at this point in the game, unfortunately, like Envy does, despite also being scaling pick there. So just going to have to wait for later into the game to get the damage down if you're the victor.
Exactly. And now that we have passed the 40-minute mark, we just saw a little bit of a glimpse at where this gold lead that Fluxo has currently is coming from. And namely, that was about 1,200 gold more from turret platings, and lots of that is in the pockets of Brands and Jojo. And through these two, Fluxo is now going to start to look to make plays. They've already taken down the tier 1 mid lane. They're going to take down the tier 1 top lane as well anytime soon. And of course, the next dragon on the Rift in 30 seconds. It's a Chemtech Drake just to have some more fun and get the scaling rolling much, much earlier.
Yeah, you gotta get these dragons down as soon as possible here, if you ask me. FMB finds Chisamis. I don't think anything comes of this here. We get the ults come out. They pump those into FMB and force him potentially off of the map. That could be huge for Fluxo.
Yeah, I think this actually eliminates him from contending this bot lane turret, right? You have a little bit of wave clear on this AP Gragas, but it's only a Rod of Ages in his pockets at the moment. Nothing much else. And House can just shove this in continuously. Get some good damage on the turret. In the meantime, this lane priority in both bot and mid lane is leveraged beautifully, and Fluxo will pick up the second dragon of the game.
Yeah, look at the second dragon here. Waves crashing across Summoner's Rift for them, which is nice to see. Fluxo, once they take this dragon, take the reset, will be immensely strong. As they spend that gold that they've gotten. So you want to make sure that you're fighting them on the map now. If you're Furia, try to make something happen. They did take the Rift Herald away, so there's not too much to fight for. They're going to push out these waves, and unfortunately have to give the resets over to Fluxo. A lot of big item breakpoints coming through here. Yeah, we get Crown for Jojo. Much harder to kill the Lux now.
And it's such an unfortunate timing for Furia as well, right? Because Furia just picking up their first round of major items, right? The Gale Force on Trigo, the Rod of Ages on both Envy and FMB, Good with his Black Cleaver. But all in all, this item spike is not going to help you at all. Even the second Herald, not able to break that tier 1 turret. All that turret damage that you can see there, that's all Herald charges.
Yep. Yeah, 2 Herald charges into the same turret. Feels like it should take the turret down, but I guess not. One of them went into the plates, right? And protected it effectively. So, yeah, that's funny. I don't think I've ever seen 2 Rift Heralds charging in the same turret. That's very interesting. I guess it only leaves like 300 or 400 damage left up on the turret, and
oh yeah, no, this turret definitely will die as soon as you look at it. Funny, right? But
Yeah.
for the moment, it is still up, and this just takes away so much potential of opening the map for Furia, getting some deep wards in, taking some control of the enemy jungle, right? And of course, well, the situation isn't really getting any better. And we didn't really get to talk about this before the game, but oh, never mind. We got a little bit of a glacial ambush going in through the mid lane. Jojo has no ult, so no crazy follow-up. Trigo had to burn his cleanse earlier, so good attempt here at another pick by Fluxo, but overall, they'll be very happy to just leverage the priority they found here in mid lane.
Very true here, and there's just no way you could play this lane, unfortunately. If you're Trigo and IU, the range is just so incredible. Even just Jojo sitting in the lane is going to force you out of the lane. No vision there. Oh, now they do. Vision on Good. This could be difficult for them. Not a lot of health left on this turret here, Lethy. It might be the dive.
This is a interesting situation for Furia. They managed to clear the wave and push Fluxo off for the moment, but this could have gone south really, really quickly.
Absolutely could have. It still could, if I'm being honest, but Hao's going to stick out here in the side lane, continue whacking down those minions and scaling up, almost up to that second item now. Be very strong once he gets up to that point. You see, take the reset right now and could spend the money there. We haven't really seen Ty in a team fight yet. I'm looking forward to these 5v5s, seeing if the Scion has what it takes to tank up some of the damage. Well, we haven't seen very much success from Furia in the fights. A lot of that is down to the range, right? But maybe once we get fighting front to back, they might see a little bit more success, get their front line up against Furia, gives Furia something to hit and something to dive past, right? Create a 5v3 situation.
I think that's one of the big challenges here for Furia over the next few minutes, right? To avoid these 5-on-5 team fights, go for picks
Ooh.
like this, like Fluxo is doing right now, and they're turning it around on a dime, going in hard onto Jojo, but he gets to flash out. The damage is good onto Envy, but he walks away for the moment as Brands can't really connect the damage. All in all, it's a trade of some left and right and hooks towards each other's chins, but nothing really coming off of it. Maybe Fluxo could be able to push a Baron off of this, though.
Yeah, could start up here. Kalen takes this remarkably quickly. This is a very early Baron, though. Furia would be forgiven for thinking this is not super possible. Not exactly what Fluxo's going for. Yeah, see it going down fairly slow.
But still, it is underway. FMB
it's
looking
going
for some
down.
vision. There's a pink in the pit. Baron at about half, and now Fluxo is trying to turn this around and collapse on in. They lost their tier 1 mid. Furia taking some profit out of this situation for the moment, at least.
Yeah, gonna slow things down a little bit here. Stop that Baron take. Drag it up in 15 seconds, though. Could be the angle for Fluxo. We'll see here.
Interesting calls coming in from Fluxo, but the reaction from Furia, I'm actually very impressed. And this is kind of the mid game and the late game shot calling we're expecting from this team, right? Fluxo, we kind of had the big question: can they find back to their start, middle of the split, absolute power form they had going for themselves? Oh, give me a second here. There's a TP into the mid lane. A little bit unfortunate for Tay. He gets rooted up and knocked out almost. But you can see, as you were asking, X-Men, this is a very tanky Scion.
Yeah, super tanky. Eventually, he realized, hey, I kind of have to reset now. That's like actually half my health bar. That was not a good teleport, I would go ahead and say, for him there. Weird teleport positioning, to be sure. But the dragon started up here by Furia now. Fluxo.
I know Ayu finds a pig house all by himself, goes golden. The cage is down, needs to flash out. And now we're hitting kind of the spot where Tay gets to rejoin the team, but off of that TP, it really looks like Furia is able to hammer the advantage home and pick up this third dragon.
One of these teams is down 2,000 gold. And it's not Fluxo. It is Furia. They will make huge strides so they get the comeback into the game now as they take down that third dragon. This is incredible, Lethy. I don't know how they're maintaining this level of map control. I guess there's just nothing Fluxo could do to push into the setup from Furia, which is difficult position to put themselves in. But they're going to take that topside turret and try to continue opening up the map and soaking up the gold and hoping to scale to a point where they can take control of the map back. But I don't know. At some point, I mean, Vigar scales infinitely. Zaya's scaling really effectively there as well. The engage is always going to be relevant. I don't know what we're trying to scale for here, Lithia, for Fluxo.
It's a little bit of a break point we're hitting right now. Oh, Disarm is with a attempt at a steal. Doesn't get it, I think. One way or another.
Have blue, so I'm not.
Yeah,
really
sure. I don't know who got it. I think Good got it, but I don't think all in all that's very much that important. We can take a look at the gold graph here, and this tells a little bit of a story of a successful early for Fluxo. Great performance around the 15-minute mark, right? Using those first initial power spikes, but they're starting to fall off, and it's going faster and faster. If they don't start to find good fights soon, I think Furia might be in a position to take over this game with their shot calling. Oh, and there is the engage. The Glacier Prison lands on Trigo, but the follow-up not quite there. Beautiful body block here from Good to deny Tay's engage, and suddenly Fluxo once again staring down an empty lane without any engage tools.
Nothing really to do, right? Nothing, no way to get into the fight, unfortunately for them here. Ty, I guess you could walk forward if you're Ty, just try and walk at them, but we've seen already with that last teleport play, he could take an incredible amount of damage in a very short amount of time from this Furia roster. Trigo especially deals very high amounts of damage to Ty. And, oh wow, yeah, Ayu Talk about taking damage. Holy cow.
Yep, FMB a little bit far forward. The follow-up not quite there, though. And of course, Envy's cages, man. They are so effective at just stopping Fluxo in their tracks. But overall, the pressure is unrelenting. They are leveraging the gold lead they have as much as they can. Especially now, running in the top lane, trying to eye up these tier 2 turrets.
Yeah, they're wanting to push in for this, but you want to do it with the Baron empowered minions, right? And they just don't have access to that right now, unfortunately. And we haven't really talked too much about zone control this game, but it's been a really important factor. Of course, we talked about range several times when we talk about Caitlyn and Lux, but the zone control is really important as well. The Vygar cage, big zoning tool, keeping Fluxo from pushing in, but also the Caitlyn traps as well, being able to control zones effectively and force the opposing team to play around certain areas. And it really does seem like whichever team is able to set up those zones of control early around the objectives is going to win the fight, because the enemy team is forced to push in.
Yep, especially if you find picks
Jojo.
like this one on Jojo, but the turnaround is good as well. IU immediately blown up good, going deep, looking for a house, but the damage is not good enough. Flashes over the wall, right into the arms of Bronze, and now the Caitlyn can just take control of this fight if Fluxo can stay up on target, because on the other side you have Trigo and FMB still holding down the front line. It's a 1-for-1 exchange, both supports dead. But Fluxo in a great position to take over this mid lane.
Yeah, really good position right now. They don't have to push into Furia. They could just push through the minions and take down the objective. That dragon spawning here in about 40 seconds as well. Could rotate back onto that, take the reset, look to make the play. Yeah, Brunsey will take down that mid lane tier 2. FMB going to take down the top lane tier 1 in retribution here. I would really like to see Fluxo get the early setup around this objective. I think this is huge for this team to get the Caitlyn traps down early, get everything set up, get the vision set up as well. If they have to push into this dragon pit, Lithy, it's not going to be good for them.
Definitely a cob that wants to be sieged instead of doing the sieging with the Caitlyn traps, as you mentioned. But all in all, Furia know that this dragon is on the line, that they can't pressure the Baron. IU gets to dip out, the TP coming through from house. And Fluxo just building up the presence here around the Baron, around the mid lane, looking for an engage. This is going to blow any second now, X-Men.
Oh, it's just got to, right? The engage tools are all up. IU here. Yeah. It's got the ultimate available. Tay's right there.
Yep, IU going in, the cage landing, that's a lot of damage on Tay, but the commitment not quite there. Glacier Prison actually thrown out. Massive, massive engage tool that Fluxo now does not have available for themselves, and the pressure just continues to grow. FMB taking control of the fight by tanking 2 people. Tay knocked down to a third of health. FMB gets out barely. The Fimbulwinter doing work for the Gragas here at the moment. Really. And all in all, it's once again an even exchange. No one down, but we are not quite done yet. TP back in from Tay. He should be all healed up and recovered. But the ult's still on cooldown, X-Men.
Yeah, ult's still down. They're going to try and push out this middle wave a little bit here and then rotate into the Baron.
Yeah, the arm wrestling still going on. It's a big flex coming in from Furia and Fluxo as Tay goes deep, but the Featherstorm from Trigo is good for a dodged. IU dropping fairly low here with a beautiful graph wheel thrown in by House just to zone everyone out. The cage comes through. Now FMB in the fight. Massive CC on everyone on Fluxo, and House is down. The first big important pickup, but Brand's still sitting on the sidelines, performing beautifully. This Caitlyn just hammering it home, going in hard on everything. What? With a beautiful play, but Furia still on the chase. This fight is far from over, and this Caitlyn is the first target, but there's the Glacier Prison. It is back up, and they are looking for a fight. Fluxo play this out beautifully. In the end, it's a 1-for-1 after all these shenanigans.
I can't believe that flash Oh no, they're gonna
Oh,
re-engage here.
we're not done. Brands is full HP. The laser coming through. Down goes IU. Fluxo finally find the reward they were looking for. The root on Good does not quite land. Brands has no mana to catch up. But Fluxo find another kill.
It's incredible, the re-engage. I was not expecting there. Gale Force. Flash Gale Force on the Envy was so crazy from Brunsey. What a play that was. I'm sure we're getting a replay of that one. Yeah, here's the find one more time. Ty just able to find the angle on Trigo and randomly get some time alone with the AD carry there. Force out the Featherstorm. This is such a massive part of this team fight is that Trigo doesn't have safety anymore, right? He's hesitant. Can't get back into this team fight whatsoever. He's going to get zoned out by the Lux ult. Nothing really to do there. The Vigar ultimate connects on a tie, which seems wild to me, man. I don't know why you're ulting the enemy hyper tank like shield? That. Yeah, we took down his shield, right? Trigo's still looking for the damage as he pushes forward. Look at the flash Gale Force there from Brunsey. What a crazy play.
Brancy with a beautiful performance so far on this Caitlyn. And now Fluxo putting on the thumb screws, grabbing that dragon, and that is a soul point secured for Fluxo. But Furia has a little bit of a re-engage angle. The cage from Envy doesn't quite find its target, though. Fluxo backs out with the dragon in pocket. They are very happy with the way this game has gone in the last 2-3 minutes.
Oh, tremendously happy, right? The Baron has stayed up, but they've gotten the Dragon down. They've gotten the kills as well here, and their gold lead has expanded to larger than it has ever been on Summoner's Rift this game, Lithy. Incredible effort from Fluxo so far, and a really good series opening game as well from them. To see them in this shape is incredible. Ty going to force his way in. IU in trouble.
This is a risky call from Fluxo here. They're a little bit separated, and Furia in a prime position in this river to take over. Baron down to 2.5k. Smites are available. Are they going to go for it? Furia could just take over. This is so risky. It's a flippity flip-flop athletics show. For the moment, at least, as no team commits on the Baron. Tay going in deep with the unstoppable onslaught, finds the engage. And Furia running for the hills, at least for the moment. Brands looking for an angle back into the fight, but Envy zoning him very well on the side. Finally, Tay taken down, and Trigo still in the front line. Beautiful Featherstorm to dodge the Glacier Prison, but FNB still slowed. Brands trying to follow up. Good! Zonya's here onto the cease and desist, but the follow-up is still there. Fluxo gets wiped off the planet Earth as Furia take over the fight.
I can't believe they won this fight, Furia. They find the damage on the correct targets. Ty goes down early in the fight. Jasamis and Brunsey follow up after that, and just like that, they're on to the Baron here. Jojo trying to steal away. IU's going to force him back, but the Baron will go down for Furia.
Watch Jojo steal this with a laser. Good attempt. Furia pick up the dragon, and we were just talking about how well the last few minutes have gone for Fluxo. That one team fight that doesn't go their way, and immediately Envy and, of course, Trigo performing like the young gods they are.
Trigo does so much damage in this team fight. So he fully takes down Tay, first off, right? Which is like easily 4,000 or 5,000 damage. And that's incredible. But he also kills Tay again, which is another 4,000 damage, and then takes down Jasamis here as well for another 2. So it ends up dealing like 10, 12k damage in this fight, and does a bunch of damage there to Brunsey as well. And none of that damage is returned, by the way. So really just an incredible fight from Trigo.
Beautiful performance, but the fighting is not quite done yet in terms of gold. Even though we are looking at a 1.5k Baron power play at the moment here for Furia, that is basically all the gold lead they have currently. So both teams still dead even, and this game is far from over, especially considering how well Fluxo's team comp does into 5-on-5 team fights.
Exactly here, and yeah, wow, that was a 5k gold swing. That's incredible. I can't believe it, but the power play is going to continue here for another minute and 30 seconds. And Fluxo will fall even further behind. Try and defend this turret now. Jasamis doing his best around the bottom side. Glacial Prison is back up, so they could They do have the potential to turn this if Furia aren't careful.
Yeah.
Maybe look for
The
a
good
pick.
thing for Fluxo right now is that you have House on 3 items already. Pretty powerful Victor to kind of answer the push in the mid lane. Finally, that tier 2 is going down. Tier 2 top lane, under threat as well. Might fall with the next wave or two, but for the moment, it seems like Furia is happy with what they've gotten so far. And they'll go for a little bit of a reset.
Yeah, a little reset coming through here. Being able to spend all that gold is going to make them incredibly strong when we look for that next Baron or the next Dragon play here. Excuse me, in 30 seconds. You want to see Fluxo push out these waves, try to set up around that Dragon, but it's just not going to happen. Unfortunately, Furia are going to get there first, and it will be Fluxo having to push onto this Dragon if they want to get onto it. I anticipate Lithy, they might not even look for the Dragon at all. They might just push out these waves and be content to do just that. Trying to catch up a little bit in the CS. I don't think you actually realistically have a way into this bottom side jungle.
It is a tough spot to be in for right now for Fluxo. They need a really good engage to get a teamfight rolling, and other than that, currently they seem a little bit outgunned right now. And for Furia, this is actually not that important to pick up the dragon, but it's so much more important that Fluxo has no chance of picking up an Infernal Soul, because that would flip the game back in an instant.
Certainly, the damage numbers would spike there for Fluxo and bring them directly back into the game. And you can't have that if you're Fury at this point. You're up 3,000 gold and have a couple Infernal Dragons of your own here as well. FMB could be over the wall. We'll see. No, it's going to back off for the time being. And just continue to control the waves, shove the waves back into Fluxo. Nothing really they can do about that, unfortunately. Wow, look at the damage there from Bronzy on the ultimate.
It's good poke onto Trigo, but the gold graph also
Yeah.
paints a beautiful picture of how this game has gone past the 30-minute mark. Furia just kicking the game into overdrive, basically, and Fluxo just struggling to hold on to anything. But as we mentioned, yes, the gold lead is there, but this game is far from over, as you can see. If there's a quick route from Jojo coming through, a good pick from Fluxo, this game could be right back to where we were 10 minutes ago.
100%. It's anybody's game as far as I'm concerned. The scaling is certainly there for House. He has all of the items in hand that he needs to, pentakill this roster. Just needs to get the damage down in the correct positions, right? Not a lot of big targeted abilities there in Victor's kit. You kind of just got to get it in the right spot to get the damage down. Envy, meanwhile, just kind of clicks R and you die.
Which is a little bit of an issue. Rabadon's now picked up for FNB as well, so this Gragas is getting more and more dangerous by the second. And once again, Fluxo lining up in mid lane, looking for a little bit of ARAM gameplay. Because we do have Baron up in 40 seconds, and as we established, if they can get their own objective control down with the Caitlyn traps and everything, Fluxo is in a very strong position to play.
You certainly are.
Oh, Trigo. Glacier Prison goes wide, doesn't even have to cleanse. Just uses the Gale Force to dodge to the side. Good attempt, though, by Fluxo.
Gale Force being down is an important cooldown. It's a lot of safety for Trigo. Gale Force still up for Bronzy, meanwhile. And, here we go. We'll fight topside potentially. House just wants to clear the waves, I think. And continue scaling here. His death cap is almost completed. We'll have a bunch more damage after that goes down. I imagine Fluxo are, if anything, trying to stall out for that particular spike here, which House should hit here in just a little bit. Just needs 1,100 gold.
I mean, it's all going to come down to this next team fight, right? The longer we wait, the closer we get to a potential Inferno Soul for Fluxo as well. And they are just pressuring into this Baron pit, trying to establish any sort of control, a vision, an angle to engage. But Furia making it very, very hard right now. And FMB has a beautiful flank angle.
Yeah, he's got a nice little flank angle.
Baron started
Ray
up.
is going to come out.
A little
Oh,
bit of
FNB
vision
on
onto
the
that
tie.
with the Lux ult. Envy gets chunked out with the ace in the hole. And Fluxo just pushing in more and more. 4K on this Baron. And nowhere a jungler inside. Furia pick that one up. But Fluxo definitely want to follow this one through. Glacier Prison goes wide. Trigo once again in a beautiful position. But houses Chaos Storm does a whole lot of damage. Bronze still untouched in the backline. Fluxo in theory win the fight, but they cannot get the kills. Oh, the flash forward from Tisamis. This is two important picks, unless Trigo can turn this whole thing around on its head. No, it's a 1-for-1 as Tay goes down. But the ADC from Furia is down, and Fluxo are running it down top lane.
You got to keep the momentum up here to push through this turret to get something off of this play. It's not much damage you got to put down onto this structure. Hopefully they push out for it here. It might just be, yeah, they're going to take that down with a couple autos from Brunsey. They lose the Baron. Once again, this power play coming through from Furia. I cannot believe my eyes, man. They're going to get so much gold off of this play as well. 2 minutes to try and have an effect on the map with these buffs. Trigo and IU will not have access to them, but that's still 3 members up that will. And you'll be able to push out the waves.
The thing is, Trigo is still down. Infernal Drake is spawning right now. Fluxo could just rush into this Dragon Pit and claim an Infernal Soul for themselves.
He certainly could here. We'll see him in the bottom side jungle.
Trigo now
Pushing in. Yeah, Ty with the teleport back in. You got to fight over this one.
Yeah, definitely. This is what makes or breaks the game for Fluxo. House finally joining in on his team. FMB in a beautiful flank position, but the ace in the hole hits Envy. He is chunked out to half, needs to pull back for the moment, and the Dragon already down to half HP. Fluxo trying to hammer this one home. Good going deep with the cease and desist, but FMB can't follow. The exhausts are in, and all the damage onto Bronze. The Caitlyn is down, and Trigo and Envy are just taking over the game. Furia turn the fight on its head and dismantle Fluxo in record speed. Third dragon picked up, and no hope left for Fluxo as Tay is just a formality to be cleaned up here right now.
Oh, man, the death timers are so long, too, like 45 seconds for Fluxo. I don't think that they will be able to come back up. Furia maybe pushing for the inhib, perhaps pushing to end. We'll see how this next push goes for them here, but with 3 stacked Infernal Dragons, even if Fluxo do survive this push, it's going to be very, very difficult to get the comeback into this game.
10 seconds on the Caitlyn.
Holy cow, man.
This is going to be close. Not too much in terms of minions, but these Nexus turrets are just melting. Look at Trigo and Envy and everyone just cleaning house. Beautiful damage onto Tisamis. The Nexus falls. And it is Furia picking up the first win of this series. What a start into the CBLOL playoffs here, Axeman.
Camera's coming up.
That's incredible gameplay. You got the Caitlyn